you know.
Yeah. Well,
They're
now
kind
I
of,
see that. Now I see the series aspect of it.
yes, yes. So and that's why these children from like 1918 show up in the bus, and they're straightforward and they're not looking anywhere, but I mean, just eerie shit. You'll
Yeah, it's
walk
a
on the bus,
children of the corn type
yeah,
thing.
children of the corn, but they're like just completely like straightforward. They're not even looking at you because they're ghosts themselves. And these kids get on, and they're giggling, and they're having a good time. And this is the kid that whipped his freaking knife out and cut Dieter and blasted him in the eye, and his friends, his evil friends, are with him. And we don't show child on child violence or anything like that, but you get a good idea when the bus driver is like unconscious somewhere in the parking lot, and these kids start going back and start confronting these bullies, and we get a good idea as to what it's all about. And then later on you find out, oh man, that's that's little Dieter in the back of that bus looking at himself witnessing the abduction of Heidi. So that was the idea, but this part I can absolutely clean up and make sure it's just a little bit more telling and a little bit more understanding that, yeah, this is Justine manipulating, um and showing, and showing and revealing to Danzig, to Henry Danzig, who I'm going to change. I just like the word. I like the name Danzig. It's one of my favorite bands, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where well, we have different tastes in music for sure, but it's a good name. It's a good name. Any name with a Z in it, I think, is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
call him Zadek, Henry Zadek. I'll just
no,
call him Zadek.
no.
Yeah,
Danzig and Dieter, they're both very German sounding. Um, so you might, yeah, you're gonna have to change, I think.
I got to change something.
Uh, you could find out whatever the lead singer's name is, Danzig, and use his name.
Yeah, there we go.
Thelma is kind of an old timey name. I don't know any Thelmas today.
Right.
I'm trying.
I was just thinking of like in Chicopee. Chicopee's a made up place,
Right.
And I was trying to think of a like because I was trying to think of like Southern names that are used like once every 18 years.
Generation. Yeah.
Yeah, once a generation, So
And then
I thought
named
that,
after their great great grandmother or
yeah,
something. Yeah. I mean, they're out there. I don't, it's okay. She's just a girl. Um, does other other than the punch in the eye, are there any marks on Dieter?
well, there's a scar, there's a cut on his hand, on the top of his hand, by Peter's knife.
In this scene? That's where the
Yes.
blood is on his
Yes.
knife? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Um, does it have to be his hand? What if it was like on his chin or in his neck? Because I think if you do this scene the way it is, and then next scene is a close up of the scar on his neck where we just saw him get cut.
Maybe it's a small cut behind his ear, something that we can call out later. Um,
Well, I think we do it right away,
yeah.
or maybe not until later. If that's what if you want to delay the reveal that this is Dieter, that
Yeah, yeah.
benefits you and it
That was the
benefits.
idea. That was the idea, but I don't know. I kind of like, now that you're talking about it, I kind of like that we call out that scar. You know what I mean?
That way we put the two together and say, oh,
Yeah.
shit, that was him.
Let's use it. I kind of
So
like
it might clear things up. But you said so that part needs work.
it. Yeah,
And we went really long.
we
Let's
did.
let's
We
do
sure
the
did.
podcast another time.
Okay, yeah.
And but I think we accomplished a lot. And so clarity is king. Make these other little changes that we talked about, and uh, you know,
I
we're
had a
almost
question.
there.
I had a question about character description. Is it is it better to, I don't know if this really applies for spec scripts, but versus shooting scripts. Is when is it important to put like the race of a character in the description of the character? Like like Dieter Tully, skinny, white, 22, computer savant. When is it when is it important to do that? Is it important to do that in the spec script? So
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay,
And just a few, a few were trim, athletic. Those are the word. Just one word to describe body type. Uh, but anything that stands out, that's relatable to the character. If he's 22 and he's balding, that is going to be a big issue to a
sure,
22-year-old.
sure,
So he
yeah,
might be wearing hats, he might be getting a toupee, he might do a bad comb over. There are all sorts of things. I didn't have that problem, you know.
right,
Um, I was blessed with a full head of hair. So you want the physical attributes to make sense to the character, and if it could, add to that, if a chubby kid with thick glasses and a curly, unkempt hair, hair, head of hair.
right. Nest of
You
hair,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would see as probably sloppy but brilliant.
right,
Because they don't
right.
care about their physical looks.
I
They're
know, there, I know.
they're into
Yeah,
uh, they're into science or computers, and now back then it was science. So and girls, ooh,
right.
what's his name? The guy from Wolf of Wall Street, Jonah Hill made an entire career
I
on
know,
that
right? Yeah, he
character.
made it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh my God.
He ended up losing weight because they're driven by the fact he didn't want to be that anymore.
Right.
So, but he would have had a fantastic. He has a great career, but he's one of my favorite actors. Um,
Me too.
you
Yeah,
know,
me too. Been thinking about once I get this squared away, and I might send it to you for an just for a look see. Um, I was thinking about approaching Trident Media